So you guys obviously know my stance on if it fits your macros and flexible dieting because that's my approach to dieting. That's what I do. That's what I incorporate. But believe it or not, majority of the questions I get are related to if it fits your macros. And if you can track macros and use this kind of dieting, whether you're cutting, bulking, maintaining, if it works for everyone. And those aren't really the questions to be asking because you really don't understand if it fits your macros, if that's what you're asking. Because it's not a diet. It's not a dieting, approach. It's a lifestyle and it's just tracking food. It's no different really from a person that's a clean eater on a meal plan. You're sticking to a specific calorie range, hitting macronutrient goals in order to achieve the physique or the performance you're looking for. Now, it's not an excuse to just eat Pop-Tarts and ice cream and all this stuff. Obviously, you can fit it in your diet, and obviously I do occasionally, but majority of my meals and my foods are like bro foods, fruits, veggies, lean meats, potatoes, rice, stuff like that. So, I think people get the wrong idea of this if it fits your macros approach because it's not a diet and it can literally work for anyone. And just because you're a flexible dieter doesn't mean you need to eat these, processed foods. You can still eat clean as a bro and you're just tracking your macros and fitting in your total caloric intake that day. So that's kind of just something I want to clear up. About to head in the gym, do a workout. Hope you guys enjoy this video. Don't really know where it's going yet. It's a Monday. I think it's April the 13th. A very slow Monday. So week 4 into the diet. I'll give you guys an update later this week. Hope you enjoy this video. So this workout marks 9 months of working on again since graduating Ranger School. Because when I was in Ranger School, I took about 21 weeks off because I recycled 2 phases. So I was there for what felt like forever. So lifting 9 months again and really feeling better than I was before I left, or at any point in my life I ever had been before, because I feel like my training is just on point, my nutrition's on point. I feel really balanced. And it just solidified my confidence in that, if I have an injury, I have to take time away from the gym. I have training coming up for the Army where I'm definitely going to lose some size, some strength, and I'll be away from the gym for a little bit. You're going to come back and it's just like that muscle memory. You'll make the gains you had prior. It might take you a little longer, but the process is the fun part. When I was in Ranger School, I specifically remember I didn't even care that I was losing all the weight. And then I was like pretty much starting at ground zero. Because it was like building a foundation again. It was like, that's the fun part. The process is the fun part. And after graduation, I told myself I was going to start a program. I was going to stick to it. I was going to track my progress. And that's what I did the last couple of months and really helped out. So I can definitely tell powerlifting has made a huge improvement in my physique because, dieting 3 weeks already, striations coming on my shoulders. Last time I dieted down, those didn't come in till probably week 6 or 7. So I definitely made some huge improvements in the last 9 months, and I'm looking forward to the upcoming months as well. Now, tentatively, I'm going to diet down for about 6 more weeks, which will end up being around June 1st, so my total cut will be about 10, 11 weeks, and hopefully at the end of that, I've lost about 15 pounds. So I started around 216, 217. Right now, I'm sitting around 210, 211, and then hopefully end up somewhere in the low 200s. Right now, I'm working with a few people in the gym, coaching them, getting them ready for shows. Because, as I talked about in other videos, I eventually want to take on clients. So this is kind of me testing the waters to see what kind of stuff I can do with people and how it's going to work out. And so far, it's been very successful. I have a few people now. I'm doing it for free, just so I can get my feet wet. And this is their first shows and absolutely loving it. So they were working with other coaches, but their macros are absolutely ridiculous. It was like one of those horror stories that you hear online. So I started working with them. They're feeling better. So I'll keep you guys updated with their progress when their shows come up. Alright, so I'm going to do an unboxing video, which I rarely ever do. And sorry for the glare. You guys mentioned my other videos about my tan. Yeah, I have the worst farmer's tan. This is like a natural farmer's tan. and I'm just always pale. I don't tan right now, but definitely getting leaner. Dropping carbs today to 375 just because my weight's been hovering around 211, 212 for the past, I'd say, a week and a half. Nothing really changed much. You know, like I'll wake up in the morning, my weight might be 2 pounds heavier than the next day, but that's been consistent the last week and a half. So I'm going to drop carbs down to 375, protein still at 250, and fats are at 70. So let's see what's in this. So I'll let you guys know that I'll sell t-shirts, and this is mine. So this is an extra large by Spread shirt. I'll throw it on. We'll see what it looks like. So on me, it's an extra large. This actually fits really well. So you can see it's the Bare Performance Nutrition logo with American flag built into it. And I'll give you a few other overlays for just a better image of the quality. But really good quality. It's a light print, fits well. So if you want to pick one up, go ahead. They are $19 on bareperformancenutrition.spreadshirt.com. You can get tanks, you can get t-shirts. You really can customize and get any color you want, and then there's different fabrics you can use. Women's, there's fitted. About to go to the gym and hit a shoulders and arm workout. Taking the usual flight and creatine. So I've had a lot of people asking me to see my current training split. So you can download my current training split from a link that goes to my website in the description box below. It's kind of the same thing. It's like a 3-day split. Chest and back, shoulders and arms, and then legs. But the rep ranges are a little different, and it gives you a percentage based off of your 1 rep max and an RPE scale. So check that out if you're interested in it. But some things I wanted to cover and talk about in this video. So I'm at a point where I'm really enjoying this diet. I'm at a weight that I'm comfortable with. I'm starting to see some really good progress only in the last 3.5 weeks I've been dieting. So I'm just really enjoying it, and it makes me itch to do a show even more. But, you know, I can really relate dieting to Ranger School to a certain extent. And I'm midway through my workout right now. I came out to do this video before it gets dark because I just don't like filming when it's dark. It doesn't get the best quality. So that's why I'm like sweating and breathing heavy. But when I was first going to Ranger School, I was like, you know, I can put up with the starving and not eating because I dieted for a bodybuilding competition. And it's similar, or I thought in my opinion at the time. But then I get to Ranger School, completely different. You know, bodybuilding and dieting down for a show, you still have food available. You're still eating a decent amount of food. It's just probably not the foods you want to fit in your macros. And then at Ranger School, they're really starving you, and you don't choose what you eat or when you eat it. And that's the hardest part. And you know, the last 3 weeks of prep for a show, that's kind of the same feeling I had at Ranger School. You're tired, you're hungry, you're not that motivated anymore. You're really just ready for it to be over. And that's when the real challenge sets in. You know, that's when the winners and the people that are willing to put in the work really show and shine. And you know, I saw that at Ranger School when the suck started really sucking. That's when the people that really wanted the tab, you know, it was obvious who wanted it. And it's obvious that last 3 weeks of prep, who wants to win that pro card, who wants to win that show, that open class. And that's the only comparison that I can really, you know, talk about in relationship to Ranger School and dieting for a show. But I'm telling you, man, when I was dieting for a bodybuilding competition, I was like, Ranger School will be just like this and it'll prepare me. No, didn't. Dieting for a show was nowhere close to the suck of Ranger School. So about to go home, finish up some workout, going back and hitting a few more exercises for arms, and then I have a new recipe I'm trying that I will show you guys. So since the panwich turned out so well the other day, I figured I would try a French toast breakfast sandwich. So the reason I did this, for one, French toast in my opinion is a close tie between pancakes and waffles. And I can make 2 breakfast sandwiches with French toast for a fraction of the grams of carbs that I would use in like pancakes or waffles. So to make my French toast, I just use 4 slices of bread. Now the bread I'm using is 11 grams of carbs per slice. So it's pretty good and pretty convenient for me because I'm dieting, even though it's still 375 grams of carbs right now. But for the mix, I use 2 teaspoons of light brown sugar, 1 egg, some cinnamon, a little bit of vanilla extract, and a little bit of water. Mixed all that up, dipped my bread in there, made French toast just like normal. The thing I don't like about like homemade French toast, and I don't know how all these diners get them so crispy, when I make French toast, they still seem kind of soggy even as long as I let them sit on the griddle. So if you guys have any tips for me, please comment below. But after that, I just mixed 1 cup of egg whites, 1 whole egg. For the eggs, used 1 serving of a 2% 4 Mexican cheese, which has like 5 grams of fat per serving. Mixed all that up, put it on the sandwiches, topped it with some Walden Farms maple syrup, and honestly, a very close tie to the panwich. So try that one out. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will talk to you in the next one.